your beauty.
Okay, hello, Andy. How's it?
Are you good, brother?
I'm well, mate.
Okay, guys. Welcome to another episode of
Don't give
Glistian.
us a jockey, eh?
Listen, I think this could be a good episode, Pierre, because we've got the Candyman on. We've got, according to him, the greatest jockey of all time. You've got me.
He was.
You've got me
Well,
saying.
Everyone loves the Candyman. Everyone, and those who don't know what's going on.
That's what it is. I'm a very good topic to speak about.
Okay, before we start talking about your topics,
Okay.
it's good to see you. Last time I saw you, you were 20-something kilos heavier. You know that?
Yeah, Joe, I was going to ask you to start one of those fat meetings, you know what I mean, where we could fucking cry together.
I was comfortably fat, to be honest, but I had to have an operation. You didn't. You, again, for everything that's ever been written about you and everything that ever gets said about you, I tell you, the thing that people never discuss is this fucking determination of yours, because you've got it into your head now that you want to ride again, right? And you're going to lose this weight. And how's it going?
Yeah. I don't know where it started. Some oak in Australia rode work with me one morning. He was also deep 90s, and they had a breakfast meeting, which is amateur riders. And
Yeah.
I was riding for Annabelle Neesham. And Annabelle said to me, I was there for about 2 weeks. Andrew, just show the oak around, let him canter around with you. Like I can show anybody around, you know what I mean? I said, okay. So I got spoken to him, and he said, I've lost 30 kilos, and this is my goal. Okay, I want to ride in this breakfast meeting where amateurs ride. And when I went to that meeting to go see him after races, and I thought, my God, if he can do that, then I can still do it. And that was like probably the first little seed that was planted.
Oh, it wasn't Pierre Stradum, still riding at 57.
Listen to me. They can say what they like about Stradum. Fucking brilliant. I watched him on Saturday. Brilliant. I don't care what they say. You know, brilliant. Brilliant. One thing people can't say, the man he's a great rider. Great. I don't care what. Between him and Jeff Lloyd, if I had to pick somebody for my life, it will be Jeff, because this fucker will drop his hands.
Actually, I was going to put that video up, that famous video, but I thought it might be too soon. My relationship with you, Andrew, goes back to Trojan Hero days, and I was telling Pierre that I'll never forget the meeting we had in Joburg where you arrived barefoot, and we all looked forward to Trojan Hero making his debut. I think he ended up retiring a 13-time winner, and he got beaten a neck on debut.
Yeah, I remember.
He didn't move a muscle the last 200 meters, typical. And I think love you or hate you, and obviously there's been some comments on Facebook. That's what we're all looking forward to, because your styles are very different, Pierre?
Well, our styles, but we've got very similar thinking. We like to hold together, and sometimes by kidding to a horse will give you more. Some jocks just throw the reins at the horse, and the horse sort of just goes through the motion and doesn't really give you of its best. Andy could sit till 100 meters. I thought I was patient until he came along. Like, geez,
Yeah.
I got nervous for him.
We started together, eh?
Yeah. Remember, you and I, we were the only two appies used to get out the bus at Summerfeld to go and ride work for Johnny McCready. And it was dark. And sorry to say, he's gone now, but we used to race these 2-year-olds in the...
Yeah. And we both wanted to sit behind.
Yeah. We would jump away on the track over 400 meters. There's not enough time to really sit behind another horse and make it up. But over 400 meters on the sand, we used to do that, tucking behind. Yeah. The other one used to try and catch a break. Anyway, I think you and I we learned a lot in those days just by getting out the bus, doing some work, and learning from one another.
And
And-
funny, Joe, we at that time, we both thought we were champions.
Well, you both are champions.
No, really, I'm not kidding you. We used to talk about it. I used to tell him, Pierre, all you need is a chance. Because he rode before me, he was a year before me. But
Yeah.
we both thought we were champions. And
Yeah.
it's funny how it worked out 200 million years later. How we ended up, you know what I mean? So,
Here's a question for both of you, right? If you're looking at a race card, okay, and you're riding a 4-to-1 shot, right? And you start going through the rest of the riders in the race. Are you more comfortable when you don't see each other's name?
I don't know. Yeah, look, listen to me. It just, my first intention was when I was in the pens that I got to beat Pierre at the pens. Okay? And I always wanted to lead him. At the end of my career, like when my last stint, I said, I want to get first run on him because I know the last furlong I will hold him off.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm sure he was thinking the same way, but I remember moving to Joburg for Gary Alexander, and Pierre beat me once or twice, but not beat me like hands down. And I went to him at 45 and I said, Pierre, he's got this thing about making a horse just low flugger. You know, he's got this thing, he makes him look like they're at their top, but they're not. And I said, come on, you got to school me that. And he kind of gave me 1 or 2 tips to what he does. And after that, I had his number. You can look at the last 2 years when we rode together. I had his number every time. And I used to laugh next to him and I used to tell him, I got you.
Yeah, I think as an outsider, and know both of you relatively well, I do think that I would call Pierre the Maradona of horses, and I would call you more like the Messi or the whatever. So I think your careers were, I think even though they overlapped later on, I think Pierre definitely, obviously Pierre peaked early, and now he's just chilling and enjoying his life and riding lots of fantastic races. Whereas you really focused on your craft later on, didn't you? I mean, the early days were good. Daryl Hodgson, all of that stuff, they were good. But the riding to win the championship was something different.
Joe, the difference between me and Pierre was great.
He's great.
No, he is great. Okay, was great, is great. But I believed more in myself.
Oh.
No, there's a difference in that, eh?
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Oh,
I believed, although I wasn't better than Pierre, I believed I was.
Yeah, I get that.
So
and
even if he was...
That's important. That's important.
Very important. You can ask him. I had more confidence in him.
Striker?
Yeah, no, riding with confidence is a big thing, eh? I mean, you know, I've always, my problem is that I've always been realistic about my horse's chances, and that's how I would go in with that mindset. But once I'm in there, I would sort of I'd take it as it is, and the pace and how I'm traveling, and then I would go just if a horse is good enough, it will win. But the thing we were talking earlier about riding against Andy. So if you jumped and you used your horse, you were scared he was going to come and nab you. But if you jumped and sat behind you, you felt you weren't going to get to him because he's going to hold his horse up as long as possible.
But listen, there's another big difference between the two of you, right? Most of Andrew's wins happened in the morning. He liked doing the work in the morning.
Yeah.
Whereas you were allergic, my brother.
Yeah, I was more I still am more the form studier, where Andy could horse it in the morning, you know, and yeah. So I'd rather watch replays and see how guys have ridden a horse or study form, you know that.
So
maybe that's still riding. The bones are still okay.
Yeah, Andrew, where do you think this? Obviously, our interviews are different to everybody else's, and I try to think of questions that nobody ever asks. So we all know where you came from, right? Everybody talks about, both of you actually have this feel for a horse. Where do you think it comes from? Like, where do you think you got that? Was it from the academy and Johnny McCready and all those legends that taught you the difference between quality and quantity, or I mean, was it God? I mean, we might as well mention.
Intelligence.
Don't talk cock.
I had good teachers. I had Bert Abercrombie and Stanley Amos.
Yeah.
And Bert always told me, have an opinion. Okay, so then I learned that, and a lot of times I was wrong, and I would go back and say, okay, why were you wrong with that horse? So sometimes when they still very fat horses, their action is not that great yet because they still got stomachs. Then I realized that, okay, when I rode that horse was fat. That's why his action has changed. Now that he's a little bit more stripped. And I worked hard at it in the beginning, because I had to kind of be successful because I grew up in Elsie's and I couldn't go back. So I had to work hard at it. And I continuously worked at it when I was younger. And then that kind of thing. And then I wanted to know what horses like and dislike. So I worked on that as well.
Yeah. That's a thing that's often mislooked with all sportsmen, and especially like with social media, that you guys get criticized for a bad ride or whatever. I've done it myself, but like you mentioned hard work there. That's the bottom line, eh? That's what you got to do, right?
Yeah, but Pierre used to work in the beginning, hey?
Yeah.
It's only in the beginning when he moved from PE to Johannesburg, he don't work.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Just remember, my mentors were workers. Felix Coetzee, Carl Nisius, Freddie they were all at work every single day.
But you and Carl are quite different, because Carl rode, I think Carl's ridden 10 times more fourth places than you've ridden winners.
Yeah, but he used to take PAs.
What's his nickname? 2x4.
2x4.
Right, yeah. Carl used to run fourth and salute. Hey, listen to me. Carl was, he's in the same class as Pierre and Jeff and him. He's not far beyond them. He was a brilliant rider. And you could never, I tried to, when I got a bit older, I had a lot of respect for Carl, and I still have. I wanted to bully him one day in a race. So I got on his lap, but I got tight on his lap, and I could get tight. I was literally leaning on him. My elbow was on his leg.
Yeah.
And he never said a word. He just got to the pull up and he said, hey, that wasn't nice. Do
you think you would ever get to a situation in a race where you would pull the shillelagh out and Murda out next to you?
I know Pierre's done it. Listen to me, okay. That happens in a spur of the moment because of our will to win.
Yeah, 100%.
You know right. So it does happen. Right. Just remember, we're human, eh?
Are you?
We're human. I'm human. I'm a recovering drag. I'm human. I've caused a lot of shit. I'm just very outspoken.
Yeah, 100%.
You can ask Pierre in the jockey room. If something was... I had an opinion. I was loud. You know what I mean? Pierre would sit back and say, Andy, what do you think? Or whatever. I would have an opinion. I would loud. I'd say, hey, listen to me. I don't think that's right.
So, Andrew, Mana,
even if
Candyman.
I stood on my own, I would stand on my own.
Andrew, Mana, Candyman. What is the plan? When are you coming back? What are you waiting for? How much cuck are you going to make between now and then?
Look. At the moment, it's still. I got a goal.
Yeah.
I'm dedicated.
Yeah.
I'm committed.
Yeah.
And from there, I would like to think God's got his hand on it. The signs are there for me that God's got his hands on it.
Okay.
And now it's license are going in, everything is in, and now it's their answer.
Okay.
I'm just going to ask.
Support. The support has been phenomenal, eh? The support has been, and the job office has been big. And the sponsorship I've had 3 sponsors phoning me to sponsor me. It's
Hold on.
I don't know. I asked them, what do you people see that I'm not properly seeing yet? They say, no, this is going to be big if you come back. This is going to be huge. So, so let's see where it takes us.
What
Okay.
weight are you gonna, what weight, sorry, Pierre, what weight are you planning to go down to?
I'm in such a good eating. I'm a bit older now, so I'm a bit wiser. I've gone for help with eating. I'm going back for help now. I still got about 4 kilos to go to start riding.
Sure.
But I'm eating so well. I do that interval thing there where I stop eating at 6 at
Pierre,
night.
Pierre's doing interval racing at the moment. He rides, he gets suspended.
They don't call it interval. They call it you stop eating at 6 and you only eat at 12 the next day.
Fasting, it's called fasting.
But yeah. That's so I'm doing that, and my body it was hard in the beginning. Now I've kind of got into the team. So
What were you going to say, Pierre?
Now, I wanted to ask about the weight story as well. And then, Annie, you're going to come back riding? Do you want to stay in South Africa, or you've still got family in Australia?
that is probably the hardest part for me, because I'm on my own. I'm grateful. I'm okay on my own. But everybody sacrifices. My 11-year-old Shawnee is in Australia. Kylie's in Australia. Ashley's in Australia. And she's starting to battle because I'm not there. Do you know what I mean? It's like everybody is sacrificing for this.
Yeah.
I am. So where I'm going to take my weight and where I'm going to, that I can't say for now. I've got a figure in my head to where I want to go, and it's much lower than what I used to ride. Because if I'm going to make it come back, then I've got to do it properly.
Yeah.
I got one go at love. Remember, I've got one love. One love.
Yeah.
You got to go.
True.
I've got plenty scars. My body must be fucked when I get into my coffin. You
And
know
then
what I
where
mean? So,
of being based? Where do you want to be based in South Africa?
I don't want to run anybody down, or I would probably like to go between Joburg and Durban. Cape Town is too laid back for me. It's too. I've learned in my life, like especially now when I was off, I need some endorphins in my life. I need to do something for me. Like I got to do something that gives me some excitement. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I we were trained when horses used to win was excitement for a minute, but I need some excitement in my life. I need some. I want to give people hope that fuck me. You fat, you can get off the couch and you can go do something. A couple of my mates were telling me, Andrew, you cannot believe what you're doing for me. Because now I've lost 5 kilos because I look at you. Do you know what I mean? I've got one laugh, and I'm going to give it a full go. If it doesn't work out, then I would have got thin.
Yeah.
That's the worst result. Do you know what I mean?
But you do have an addictive personality. So how are you going to cope when you come back and you ride 20 winners in the first month? And then all of a sudden,
I'm not going to cope. I'm probably going to go mad.
No, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it from a substance perspective. I actually meant it from a going back to Australia perspective and saying to Ash, "Okay, listen, babe, I love you, I miss you, but I've just fired in 20 winners. I can do it again."
Joe, I'm going to get on that horse when that horse arrives.
Okay.
I've got a couple of plans in my head, but listen to me, I can't go that far ahead of myself.
Yeah. One at a time.
I haven't even got the license yet.
Okay.
You know what I mean? When that horse comes, I might ride it.
Yeah. Well, me personally, as a fan, I'd love to see you back in action. Like, I'm not saying I want to see all of it. I don't want to see the blown bubble gum when you're winning by a short head at Gravel. Do you remember that? Or patting a horse at the 300-meter mark when everybody else is in full flight, and you've had your maximums on.
Yeah. But listen to me, Joe. I was having this discussion before I not made an announcement, before I came back with Jeff Lloyd. And my most favorite saying is, how hard can it be? How hard can it be? It can't be that hard. So Jeff Lloyd had a brain tumor.
Yeah.
A brain tumor. They took the brain tumor off. To a degree, the man is still a little bit slow now. He won the Victorian Championship 4 years in a row. From 56, 57, 58, up to 60. So I got it wrong. 57, 58, 59, 60. He won. I said, Jeff, if you could do it being a retard,
Yeah.
why can I not do it?
Not only a retard, but he can see two televisions. He can see 2 televisions at the same time.
But Lester Piggott, Pierre, won a group 1 at 59.
59, eh?
No, he came out of prison. He came out of prison and won a group 1, Pierre.
Hey,
So,
Andrew,
you know what I mean?
I asked Pierre the other day, right? Here's one for you. Fancy a spin around the Grand National?
Are you fucking joking? Doing the Grand National? Are you
Never.
fucking joking? No ways. You got to be on fucking crack cocaine, man.
Yeah.
No, shit, I never do. Those oaks have got balls like this. No, fuck that. I would like to meet McCoy. That's one oak I would love to meet because I thought that oak was phenomenal. Phenomenal. He would have made a flat rider. I don't know if he was a flat rider, but he was.
He was a flat rider when he started. Actually, when Paul Peter and Gareth van Zyl were here last year, I took them to meet him because I am quite pals with him. So when Pierre's back here and when you come here again, I'll introduce you to Tony. He's really the only problem is. Sorry.
How did he do in those early days as a flat jockey rider?
Oh no, Pierre, he rode flat. Actually, as a jockey, he only ever competed over jumps, but he started off with Dermot Weld, I believe, with Dermot Weld. And then he was just growing too much. But, he's got a very unusual record as well because he only ever competed 19 times and was champion 19 times.
Jeez.
Yeah. From his first season to his last, he was always champion jockey there.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
The only problem that Alex got is he's an Arsenal supporter. and he's a cuck poker player, but every time we play against each other, he takes my money. Anyway, that's a different story. Guys, it's been good. Pierre, anything else for your colleague and friend?
Things. Do you think what are the hiccups the Jockey Club can have for you? How can they help you?
I'm not 100% sure, and I don't want to speak for them, but obviously, I'm very vocal with them. I've been rude to them. I've sworn at them. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean? It's. I would love to go back to Australia. Don't get me wrong. I love Australia. It's a great, great, great country. And I don't know what the plans are for me yet. Let's see. The hiccups, my insurances are all in place. I've probably got letters from 20 trainers to say they'll support me.
Well, that's good.
I've probably had 5 job offers.
Wow.
No, it's like the response has been phenomenal. I just think that the jockey range is short.
Don't say it. I knew you were going to say it. Don't say it.
What's that?
Let me say it.
Yeah.
I just think our jockey colony in South Africa at the moment is the weakest it's ever been.
Yeah, I watched P on Saturday, and I still go like this. He's still sucking. Fuck, what a ride. I saw a horse go clear. He kind of left that horse and just rode it off the second horse and got to the front horse. A lot of people would have got beaten on that. Do you know what I mean? And that is just, it was such a phenomenal era that oh God, it was a phenomenal era that we rode in. Do you know what I mean? And
100%.
I think I jumped 4 horses at the Pens this morning.
Where were you?
At Rankies.
Okay.
And the most beautiful thing is that feel is not gone.
Okay, cool.
Do you know what I mean? I sit behind them and I'm just like a length of them and I just got it going like this. And only 4 furlongs and right next to them. Don't have to be, I thought, okay, that's all still there. And let's Let's hope it works out.
So I'm going to reach out. I'm going to reach out to a sponsor in South Africa to put up 5 million rand. But there's going to be conditions. Obviously, you'll have to ride again, whatever. But that you two have to go for the championship together.
I'll beat him hands down. That fucker's too lazy, man.
Yeah, no.
Hey, Pierre, you're not that light anymore either.
No, it's a battle. That's why, because I've got to this weight issue now, how you did it that year was remarkable, because you're limited to what you can ride. I mean, I can ride at the moment. I'm pushing myself to ride 58, but on a good day I battle with 59, so what can I ride? 59, 60. So you ride a good race on a horse and you think next time it'll be a good ride and you'll be back on it. Can't do the weight. So you lose the ride,
Feel like Humdinger on Saturday, yeah?
Exactly. I mean, I would love to ride it, but 56 is not possible anymore.
Yeah. Well, it is if
Yeah,
you do the fasting diet with Andrew.
But Pierre, when I won the championship, I used to walk around 62.5. So every day I had to take off 3 to 4 kilos every day. I mean, the one day I'll never forget, I rode 21 days in a row in different centers, right? And I just, every morning when I got out of bed, I fell on my knees and I prayed, God's strength just for today. And I just kept going. I used to get up at 3 in the morning to start running with sweat clothes. Every single morning. And then I got a week suspension. I said, oh, thank you, Lord. I could sleep and I could recover again and then go again. You know what I mean? It was. I didn't enjoy it though, because it was always, you never got to enjoy the moment. Like, it's a winner, put your hands up and say, fuck you, well, you done well,
Yeah.
So,
Because tomorrow the day starts again. It's all zero,
It's all, you fly, yes, you're flying back to Joburg. You're going to go right there. And so, but listen to me, I still get hope from Pierre riding, eh?
And
I still do.
He's a phenomenal job.
I mean, I think Pierre's 2 years older than me.
Yeah, I'm now 57.
I think his phone went flat.
Yeah.
I think his phone went flat. All right, Pierre. Listen, that was really good. Thanks for today. I will see you soon.
All right. Thanks, Joe. Keep well, eh?
Cheers.